What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So it's been about a year now since I've had this computer, which is the MacBook Pro 16-inch with the M1 Max chip. And in this video, I just wanted to kind of go over my experience with the machine, some of the stuff that I like about it, some of the stuff that I don't like about it, and my experience with having it for just about a year now. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video because we'll be going over if I think that you should get this computer in 2023. So I wanted to make this video because over the past year of using this MacBook, I put it through a bunch of different situations, and I feel pretty confidently speaking about all those different scenarios where I've used this machine. So for just a little bit of context, I'm a full-time university student. I also run this YouTube channel part-time, and I do a bunch of photography and videography on the side. So that means that I've put this MacBook in all those situations. So for example, as a student, I use it as my main school computer where I take it to class, I take notes. I also edit every single YouTube video on this computer. I also edit pictures, for thumbnails, for photography reasons. Pretty much everything is done on this computer, so I pretty much use it for all of those things. Let's go over the things that I do like about this first. So the first and probably one of my most favorite things about this computer is the display. Now it's 16 inches, it's bright, it's vibrant, everything you want out of a display, you're basically getting with this computer. Not to mention it has 120 Hertz. The display is also very color accurate, which is very, very important, especially if you're doing photo editing or if you're video editing. You want the most accurate display so that you can really get a sense of the colors and try to color correct and make your footage look as good as possible so that when you export it and when people are watching it on their phones or their laptops, they're having the best experience. So having a very accurate display when it comes to colors is very important, and I feel like this computer does just that. So like I said, I've used this in a multitude of different situations. So for example, when I'm just kicked back and watching like Netflix or YouTube or a movie on it, it's great because the screen is nice, vibrant. Or when I'm video editing, when I'm photo editing, it's very color accurate and it's just a joy to use overall. So I can't say enough good things about the screen, and that's just one of the things that I really like about this computer. Now moving on to the second thing is that I really like the design of this computer. I kind of like the little bit chunkier look they gave to it. Now the bezels are also super thin, and in my experience, people have talked about the notch a lot. It pretty much goes away when you're using it. I have not really noticed it one time. So if you're worried about thinking that's going to be a distraction or anything like that, it's not an issue at all. Especially if you put your apps in a full screen, like you can't even see it. Now one thing that I actually care about a lot is how the computer feels and how it just looks. So I can tell you that this computer feels great. Like when I'm putting it in my bag, when I'm taking it out, when I'm holding it, like it just gives me a sense of satisfaction because I know that I'm holding a device that feels premium, it feels high quality, and it feels like you're getting your money's worth because you're paying an arm and a leg for this, so you want it to feel like it's justified. Ports. Yes, please. Ports. Yes. Finally. I am so glad that they reintroduced the ports, mainly the SD card reader, because I shoot all my stuff on a regular SD card and it is so convenient not having to worry about dongles, SD card readers. I can literally just pop the SD card right in the computer and I'm good to go. Thank you. That's literally so clutch. It has an HDMI too. I use it a couple times, like let's say like I'm in a hotel and I want to connect the computer up to a TV. It definitely comes in handy. Not to mention MagSafe is back, which is another nice thing, especially because you can charge your computer now without having to use a USB-C port, which is just convenient, you know, like yes, ports are back. Thank you, please don't ever remove them again. All right, the next thing that I like about this computer is the speakers. Those speakers be bumping. There's a ton of bass, and what I like about them is that even at high volumes, they don't really distort. So you're getting great quality sound even at the highest volumes on the computer. The 16-inch MacBook has the bigger speakers and bigger drivers and everything, so it's much better for music and movies and videos and everything like that. So sometimes I'll just be in my room and I'll just be listening to music on this instead of having to connect to a Bluetooth speaker. I'm not saying the two are comparable, but I'm saying that this definitely gets the job done, especially when I'm watching movies or sometimes I'll be video editing. A lot of times I don't even need to use headphones because the speakers are just that good. All right, and the performance. Now with the M1 Max chip, performance is great, as you would expect. I'm sure you've seen many reviews. People are raving about these new Apple silicone chips, so the M1 Max is amazing for everything that I throw at it. Now it's fast opening and closing apps. Obviously for school stuff, it's perfectly well. It's way overkill for school stuff, like typing notes and everything. Like, you're not gonna have any issues pretty much with any computer doing that. Even when I'm using Final Cut Pro, I use it in the higher quality mode, and literally I'm basically good all the time. I throw a bunch of 4K clips in there. I use heavy color grading, multiple layers, audio. When I'm photo editing, big files in Lightroom, everything is just so good and it runs perfectly smooth. Now, I have slowed it down just a little bit, especially if I'm having like a bunch of short clips back to back in Final Cut Pro, and they all have like heavy color grading and effects and everything. It does slow down a little bit, but I found that when it renders out, it's completely good. So performance on this, as you would expect from the M1 Max processor, it's amazing, and it's one of the things that I like about this because it also future-proofs the machine. So I've had this computer now for a year. I haven't found it slowed down whatsoever, and that just goes to show you that this chip is going to last years and years down the line, especially if you're using like native Apple apps. They are optimized so well for these machines that you're not gonna have any problems now or down the line. Now, I don't wanna sound like an Apple fanboy at all, but the things that I don't like about this computer are not really real things. Like, it's super nitpicking. In my opinion, for me, in what I do and what I need a computer for, this is the perfect computer for me. It might not be for you, but if you're in my boat, you'd have an amazing time. But there are a couple things that I'm gonna point out. The size. Okay, now I know I said that I love the size of this computer, and I do. But sometimes when I'm taking it to class in those little tight spaces in like a little desk or something in my classrooms, when I'm just taking notes on it, it is a big computer. So sometimes it could be a little bit inconvenient, especially, or if I'm on a bus or a plane or something. It's not the most portable machine. Now the thing is that you can buy the 14-inch and you can get the same specs and the same performance out of that machine. But I do like the bigger screen. It comes in very handy, especially when I'm doing real work on this. So the size, yeah, it could be a little bit inconvenient in certain times because it's a big machine, but I'm not too much complaining about it. I'm just pointing it out. And the other thing is that I just wish it comes in more colors. This is not something that I don't like about it per se, but like the MacBook Air comes in like these cool colors, like that midnight color. It just looks really cool. So I wish this came in a bunch more colors, even like a matte black instead of like the space gray. That would look so good. Apple, please just make a matte black MacBook. I would want it real bad. But that just goes to show you how much I like this machine, because those are the only two things that I could really come up with that I'd want to change or that I have a little bit of issue with. Okay, so now we've come to probably the most important question. As of right now, pretty much 2023, should you buy this MacBook? The short answer is yes. The performance is great. And like I said, with the M1 Max chip, you're pretty much future-proofed for a bunch of years down the line. The other reason that I think this is worth it is because nothing about this computer is not professional in a sense. For example, it has the Thunderbolt ports, it has the SD card reader, it has the HDMI, the screen, amazing, build quality, amazing, battery, very good, right? All of these things mean that it's a great laptop, and you're not going to really find much better if you're looking for it. And I doubt that the future generations of this are going to be that much better. So all these things I'm talking about are durable for years down the line in the future. So if you buy this computer in 2023, I can personally say that you will not be disappointed, and I definitely recommend this to anybody who needs the power, who has a good use for it. You will not regret it. So that's my kind of 1 year later experience of the MacBook Pro. And like I said, I love this machine. It's gonna be my computer for years down the line. I don't feel like I need to upgrade anytime soon. So if this video was helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm gonna be coming out with a bunch more content very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.